Our story opens with Humbert fleeing, wounded, bloodied, desperate, setting the stage for a tale steeped in obsession and regret. He reflects on a pivotal point of his life, Cannes, France, 1921, where, as a young man, a past love irrevocably marked him, setting him on a course he may never escape. New England, 1947, Humbert, now a professor, is seeking lodgings for the summer, and Mrs. Charlotte Hayes offers him a room in her quaint, sun-drenched home. However, there is no mention that his heart isn't drawn to Mrs. Hayes, but to her captivating daughter Dolores, who is, or Dolly as she's known around school. He finds himself utterly consumed with Lolita, light of my life, fire of my loins. Is she aware of this and merely teasing him? Charlotte, though, is fully aware of what's going on, and she's desperate for attention and love. She writes Humbert a letter but asks to have it destroyed unread. Does she know of Humbert's obsession? Charlotte, in an effort to set boundaries, makes it clear he'll be out by the summer's end. Is she setting the stage for a dramatic and painful summer, filled with complex emotions, unspoken desires, and dangerous games? What happens after that makes this a love triangle of the most disturbing kind, and she has to be removed from the equation. As the days pass, Humbert finds himself increasingly infatuated. Reflecting on his past, Humbert acknowledges the poison that will come, that the wound wouldn't heal. Soon after, the shocking news comes in: Charlotte is dead! And all that's left now is to make up with Lolita. On the way, Humbert's obsession with having this new-found freedom can't stop him from having the opportunity to see Lolita up close, in which they share one kiss, and she expresses to him that she also thinks he is beautiful. Is he now lost to this young beauty, or is he already lost entirely? They reach their new home, where things are a bit different. As the two start to bond, there seems to be more to deal with, as Charlotte is heard yelling upstairs. Their happiness can't last, as Lolita makes it known that she isn't going to camp, to which Mrs. Hayes throws her to the side and storms out the door to take this child far away, but to no avail, as it appears the end justifies the means. Days come, and the two return to the familiar house. But as Humbert gazes, everything is different, and his doom is set in motion. As the episode concludes, Humbert, transfixed, can't help but to gaze into Lolita's direction. With his heart's desire, it's up in the air where and what he shall do next. In the wake of tragedy, Humbert grapples with the accidental death of his wife, leaving young Lolita orphaned and entirely dependent on him. The local authorities, thankfully believing Humbert's account of his wife's death, release Lolita into his care. Though his feelings are anything but paternal, he's now both guardian and potential groom, a terrifyingly intimate and ethically fraught position. As Humbert tries to maintain composure, he's shaken by flashes of his wife's lifeless image. The weight of the recent accident, coupled with his twisted desires, starts to fracture his facade. He even attempts to send Lolita back to her original guardian, but burns the address when the letters are delivered into his hand. His turmoil grows. He's got letters to Charlotte, who has no idea of his affections for Lolita, but the letters also list what the camp Hayes goes to. With no one left to answer to, Humbert makes a calculated move. He secures lodging at a children's summer camp, a twisted attempt to immerse himself in her world. Here, the narrative simmers with suppressed urges and fleeting interactions with other young girls, each interaction serving as a stark reminder of his disturbing fixation. When the local police stop by his motel, they ask for Charlotte, who is, of course, in the trunk of his car, buried under the tools and everything else. As he makes the call, it's clear he's a desperate, lonely man. The journey then veers unexpectedly. Humbert enrolls Lolita in a summer camp populated by girls her age. He reserves a room at the creepy hotel so that he can observe her and her peers. There, he witnesses a disturbing side to her interactions. At night, the hotel is just as creepy, with flies stuck on tape, old decor, and very old people, and where he attempts to find out just what this is, it's here he decides he should stop. But as the days unfold, Humbert finds himself ensnared by Lolita's radiant energy and overt displays of affection, which quickly overwhelm his resolve. When Lolita falls ill or feigns illness, he's quick to remove her, and what seems to be a trip to a hospital turns into an escape. The authorities catch on at some point as they chase him off to a small town, with an authority chasing their tail. Our story intensifies, and this segment opens with Dolores weeping in her bed, the emotional fallout from her strained relationship with Humbert becoming unbearable. Humbert accepts a teaching position, unaware of the headmistress's hidden agenda, and the school's peculiar emphasis on the 3Ds, dramatics, dancing, and dating. The interview is a masterclass in passive aggression and veiled threats, hinting at a world of manipulation and hidden desires. Humbert arrives in New Orleans, and he immediately begins establishing a new life while being shadowed by unseen forces. As Humbert settles, the narrative juxtaposes his roles, the outwardly charming academic and the inward corruption, as it were. We see Humbert's mind at war between his darker impulses and his attempt to maintain a semblance of normalcy. This inner conflict reaches a crescendo as he prepares Lolita for a school play, a seemingly innocent act that quickly unravels into a battle of wills. The performance has to go on, but Lolita, in her quiet defiance, manipulates him with a single glance that carries the weight of their twisted dynamic. The next morning brings a fresh confrontation. Their dynamic escalates to physical aggression, and Humbert's control over Dolores violently unravels. She dares to call the cops, the accusation ringing with the potential to shatter everything. Humbert's paranoia reaches a breaking point, fearing exposure as she taunts him, and as they drive along what should have been a peaceful highway, it becomes a desperate escape, a storm of secrets threatening to engulf them. A seemingly innocuous stop at a diner serves only to escalate things. They stop, and tension simmers just beneath the surface. The veneer of control crumbles further. At the root of these exchanges lies a simmering cauldron ready to boil over, creating a sense of impending doom. What happened then happened fast. She had gone forever. His world, his Lolita, it was shattered. He collapses under the weight of his loss, knowing that his obsession has spiraled into destruction. The only way out, as he sees it, is to disappear. As the rain beats against the window, Lolita is stuck in the motel room with Humbert, but she doesn't feel too well. It's a stark contrast to their earlier freedom, the confined space reflecting her entrapment. We see Humbert's wood-paneled wagon pulling into a bleak motel. An old woman approaches them, her face etched with curiosity and perhaps a hint of suspicion. She gives them room number 29, one of the nicer ones, she says. She seems to see through Humbert's disguise almost instantly, asking about Lolita's illness. The tension thickens as Lolita is sitting alone, hunched over outside the car. It's palpable how much she hates her state, and the camera focuses on her face as she says she does not feel very well. Humbert lies about it being a virus, nothing to worry about. It's all about keeping up the charade. At the hospital, Humbert is walking with the doctor assures him it's just a virus, and is all too ready to believe his story. Humbert is watching Lolita, lying in the hospital bed, the pale curtains and steel bed frame only adding to the somber tone. It is all about appearances. He stays so he doesn't look suspicious and wants to make sure no one touches her. The doctor, however, is not fooled, telling Humbert to get back to the motel and rest. He offers flowers to Lolita, which the doctor takes, and as Humbert walks out, the medical staff look at each other, knowing he has an obsession with the kid. In the middle of a downpour, an ambulance arrives at a somber building. A body is rushed inside as Humbert follows behind. We cut to a daytime scene where Humbert is calling the hospital. He's calling in to see how his daughter's Dolores Hayes is doing this morning. The nurse says she is doing great. She left earlier with her uncle. Uncle? It turns out that Claire Quilty showed up in a Cadillac to get her. She has a sweet little dog and has a big smile. Did you really let her go with him? Yes. Humbert storms back into the motel room, tears the bed apart, and finds a picture of Lolita, along with the note that he had been dreading. He is furious. He's been outplayed again. It is all falling apart, this lie, and the perfect relationship is crumbling. The road movie is over. The tension builds. Humbert has never been so desperate. We see Quilty writing down a different name for each motel logbook. He can disguise his name, but he cannot disguise his handwriting, says the taxi driver. That is what gets you caught. At the mansion that he is supposedly staying at, a man smoking a cigar answers the door, and after a short conversation, Humbert makes his way in with a shotgun in his hands. It's time for a showdown. Where is she, he asks, determined to confront his rival, to end this game once and for all. With a shotgun and a bloody past, Humbert finds Claire Quilty in his home. They wrestle, fighting brutally amidst the lavish surroundings of Quilty's residence, a stark contrast to their depravity. Eventually, Humbert manages to overpower and kill Quilty, ending his nemesis's life. At the end, Humbert finds her note and realizes who his tormentor was all along. All along, he was competing with someone he saw as himself, a fool. That's what drove him crazy the most. A copycat was ruining his design for perfection. He's no longer just protecting her, but competing with himself as well. At the end, we know that in 1950, Humbert died in prison of coronary and Lolita dies in childbirth on Christmas Day. The end. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay awesome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing content.